Hello, my name's Nelson, and welcome to part 2 of how to turn off and on the background music of your Android game app you're developing. Again, this is the second part. We've already done some coding on this page here. This is where we left off on the first page. We corrected an error, this check change box error here. We have an error up here that's for the name of our checkbox. But we're going to leave this here for now because we got one more thing to do on this page, and I'll come back to this error. We're going to scroll down to the bottom here. I found after testing that I had to add one thing to this exit button that we programmed in our last tutorial. In the exit button, we have to add a line here. And what we're going to do is our variable that controls our global variable on this page that controls the background music, we have to set it to 0 down here. If we don't, if you use the exit button, then the music it'll turn off, but when you come back on, the button will say the background music should play, but what happens when you play the game, it won't play because you haven't reset this to 0, which is when you press the exit button, you always want this variable to be set back to 0, which is the default of the background music will play. So that's all I want to show you on that. When we go back here to this error, and this is the only error we have left, is the name of the checkbox. Now we know this is correct. We wrote it down. I told you where to find it. And this is a problem that's only unique to actually me. You might not have this error. And that's the only reason why I have the error is because I've been redoing this code for a while now, wiping it out and putting it back in for tutorial's sake. And somehow it messes up the Eclipse software, and so it needs to have to be refreshed. And the way I refresh it, because I know this is spelled correctly, this is what I have to do. Now again, if you don't have this error, just skip this part, but if you do, and I'm not sure if you do, but if you do, I'm going to show you how to fix it. To fix this problem here, so the program recognizes the name, you need to go up here to the top of the work area and bring back the welcome screen XML file. So click on the tab, and then you can click on this checkbox, make sure it's selected, look at the right hand side, and you can see the ID is spelled exactly the same. We're going to have to change it and then change it back so it can kind of reset the software. The way we do that is we're going to come down here to work area, come down here to the bottom part, and we're looking at the graphical layout tab. We're going to bring up the XML tab. Once we bring it up, we're going to scroll all the way down where we can find the checkbox. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the name. We could just delete something. I'm just going to delete this 1 just for the heck of it. I can delete the 0 if I want to, but I'm just going to delete the 1. And then I'm going to go back to the graphical layout. I'm going to look over to the right hand side. My checkbox is still selected. I'm going to look at the right hand side. And as you can see, the ID did get changed. And now I'm going to go back into the XML file with the tab at the bottom here. Now I'm going to add the 1 again. Just add it. And I'm going to go back to the graphical layout. I'm going to verify that the name changed in the property boxes. And yes, my 1's back in there, as you can see, which means that the name has been changed and changed back again. Now I'm going to go back to my welcome screen.java, bring that up. It still has an error. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to save all my files and see if that disappears. So I'm going to do that by going up to the top here, to the top bar, go to the left and hit the save all button on the top bar. And when I come back, you see that it did correct it. There's no errors. There's no red box on line 33 on my line 33 for the name. The name has been accepted. Now this error is just unique for me. If you have it, then you know I just showed you how to fix it. But majority of people should not have that error. The only reason I have it is because I keep messing with this file, deleting it to re-put it back in to make this tutorial. So if you don't have this error, just ignore it. So that's it. That's it for this page. Now, like I said in the beginning, we had 3 pages to change. We're going to go to our last page to change. So we're going to go over to the left-hand side to the Project Explorer, and we're going to go down to the SRC folder into the package, and we're going to bring up the main.java page. We're going to double click on that so it's open up in our work area. And here it is, and we're going to expand the library files. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a variable. This is a variable. We're going to create another variable. What this variable is a variable for this page. It's going to be a private variable is going to be an integer. And we're going to call this, and you can call this whatever you want. I'm calling mine background checked. And it's going to equal to the value of the welcome screen Java page and the global variable call BK, and here it is right on top, BK checked integer. And then semicolon. Basically, I'm saying here, I'm created this variable, and I'm going to make this variable equal to the variable, the global variable in the welcome screen called this, BKGD checked. So if it's 1, then this variable is now 1. If it's 0, then this variable is now 0. That's all I'm doing. I wanted to use that value. So doing that, I'm going to go down. We're going to go down to where the music is. Again, real quick, this is the first page that get loaded. It's on create. All this does is loads the game, and it starts playing the background music automatic. What I'm going to do is not make it play automatic. It can only play if, here's the if statement, that's control, if the variable on this page, which is equal the global variable on the other page, is equal to 0. Then and only then will they have the ability to, I'm going to highlight this and hit tab to indent it properly. So basically all this is saying, if this variable, which is equal to the global variable on the other page, is 0, which means let the music play, then it's going to run this, which is let the music play. But if it comes here, it loads the game, and then it checks if this variable is not equal to 0, that means they don't want it to play, then it's just going to skip this if statement, which means the background music will not play. So that's how we tell the game when to play the music or not. And there's something else we have to do. We're going to come down here to this last method, which is when you want to exit the game, like if you back arrow to exit the game. We're going to have to put an if statement in here too. Doing my error testing, I found that I have to tell this. I have to know if the music is playing or not in this area as well, for the purpose of this command, which is release the music. I misspelled this. Let me see. Background. Sorry, there it is. So basically what I'm saying, when we come here and we leave the game now, we're going to have to release the music, but only if the music is being played. So if it's equal to 0, which means the music is being played, then you can release this. Now if I left it the way it was before, where this is always ran, it could be an error, because if the music is not being played and it tries to run this command, the game will crash. So the only way this command can run is if the music is being played, then it should run. If it's not, it's going to skip over it and do these other command, which is going to exit you out of the game. But before we exit the game, I found we have to also here reset our global variable on the other page, which is background checked. We're going to have to reset that to 0. Because if you do not, you're going to have a lot of problems. You're going to... Now this is just a comment I'm going to put on there so I remember later on, if I ever come back to read this, what this is doing. And all this is resetting the global variable on the other page. The checkbox to not check. If I didn't do this, if I left the game, and okay, I must have misspelled this. Oh, okay. Gotta delete this. If I left the game without resetting the variable on the other page, the global variable on the page welcome screen, if I click the icon to get me back in the game to play it, well, whatever state I left it in is going to be on that state. That means it doesn't make a difference if I check the box or not. When I play the game, the music may not play. This assures me that the variable is set to 0, so that when I get back into the game, then everything is set to a basic 0, and it would accept me It will, if it's set to play the game, to play the music, it will play it. So you have to reset the variable here, or you're going to have basically some errors. The music may play sometimes, and sometimes it won't. So you have to reset it to 0. And that's it. This is all the things we had to change. It seems a little complicated. I hope I didn't confuse anyone, but let's go ahead. There's no errors in none of our files. So we're going to go up to the top bar. We're going to save everything. We'll hit save all just to make sure everything's saved. As we can see in the project here in Project Explorer, there's no red boxes or yellow warning signs, nothing in the file. So it should run perfectly. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click the project name in the Project Explorer, hit the run key on top bar here, and I'm going to bring up the emulator, which is still running. And we're going to see if it reloads, how it works out. It should reload, and we should see the checkbox. And there it is, the checkbox in there. Now we're going to turn the volume up. If we don't do anything with the checkbox and we play the game, so we hit the launch game button, the music plays. Sound effects works. Let's back arrow. Let's click the button. Launch the game again. And as you can see, it's quiet. There's no background music, but the sound effects work. Let's back arrow. Let's take off the sound effects. Take off the button. So we want the background music to play. Launch the game again. And there's the music. And everything works fine. We can exit out of this. And remember, I'm going to go back into the game. Remember, I had to do that last part to say if you hit the exit button, reset everything. So the music should play if I click the button again. It does. Let's turn off the music. Launch the game again. And it's quiet, but the sound effects work. So let's go back here. And that's it. Everything works fine. I had tested this in many different scenarios, and everything works great this way. So I hope you were able to keep up. If I was talking too fast or typing too quickly, just pause the video so you catch up typing, and then resume the video so you can hear the explanation of what we typed. I hope I wasn't too vague. There's a lot of ifs, this, if that, but everything works fine and your button works. So now if you want to play the game without listening to background music, you can do it. That's it for now. My next tutorial is going to add another option here, a checkbox option to turn on and off the sound effects. So that's it for now. I hope this helped everybody, and good luck.